There's a specific moment most people never talk about. Not the promotion, not the achievement, not the goal you finally hit after months of grinding. It's the moment right after. When you look around at your life, your friends, your habits, your conversations, and something feels strange. Like you're wearing someone else's clothes. Like the life you built doesn't quite fit anymore. And nobody warned you this was coming. Most people assume leveling up feels like winning, like some movie montage where everything clicks into place and everyone cheers and life gets simpler. But here's what actually happens. The more you grow, the more disoriented you feel. Not because something is wrong with you, because something is fundamentally, irreversibly right. Here's what nobody tells you about real growth. It doesn't just change what you do. It changes who you are at the level of identity. And identity change is one of the most disorienting experiences a human being can go through because it doesn't announce itself. It just quietly rewires everything. Think about what leveling up actually requires. You had to say no to things you used to say yes to automatically. You had to sit with discomfort long enough for it to stop feeling uncomfortable. You had to choose the harder thing over and over again when the easier thing was right there. That process doesn't leave you unchanged. It builds a completely different operating system inside you.
And here's where it gets really interesting. That new operating system doesn't just affect your goals. It affects what you find funny, what you find boring, what conversations feel worth having, what rooms feel worth being in. Your entire filter for the world shifts. And suddenly the things that used to feel normal start feeling small. Psychologists call this self-concept change. When your behaviors, values, and environment shift significantly enough over time, your core sense of who you are updates to match. It's not a conscious decision. It's not something you choose. Your brain simply builds a new model of you based on the evidence you've been providing it. The problem is the people around you are still working from the old model. Your family still sees the version of you from 5 years ago. Your old friends still expect you to react the way you always did. The environment you grew up in still pulls you back toward patterns you've already outgrown. And when you no longer fit those expectations, it creates friction that nobody has a clean name for. This is why leveling up can feel lonelier than staying stuck ever did. When you were struggling, people understood you. They could relate to you. They knew exactly what to say. But the moment you start winning, really winning, not just temporarily, something shifts in the dynamic. You become harder to read, harder to place, harder to keep in the box they built for you in their heads.
And here's the part that stings. Some of the people who cheered the loudest for your potential go quiet the moment that potential becomes reality. Not because they're bad people, because your growth does something to them. It holds up a mirror, and not everyone is ready to look. But here's what most people get completely wrong about this process. They think the discomfort means something went wrong. They start second-guessing the growth. They wonder if they've become arrogant or cold or too serious. They try to shrink back into the old version to make the friction stop. Don't do this. The discomfort isn't a warning sign. It's a confirmation. It means the change is real. It means the work you put in actually restructured something fundamental inside you. You can't feel the gap between who you were and who you are unless who you are has genuinely shifted. Here's something that might completely reframe how you think about this. A caterpillar doesn't struggle inside the cocoon because something is going wrong. It struggles because transformation requires complete dissolution before it requires rebuilding. The version of you that's leveling up has to break down the old structure first. That breakdown feels like confusion, disconnection, and grief for a life that used to fit.
What you're actually grieving is the old identity. And grief is the correct response to loss. even when what you're losing needed to go. The relationships that can't survive your growth were never built for your growth. They were built for your stagnation. And the hardest truth about leveling up is that some connections only work when you stay small enough to need them in the exact way they want to be needed. But here's the other side that most people miss entirely. Every time you level up, you become capable of a completely different quality of connection. The conversations get deeper. The people you attract start matching the version of you that actually exists now, not the one you left behind. The friendships that survive the change become unbreakable because they were built on something real. The person you're becoming isn't betraying the person you were. They're completing them. So if you're in that strange in-between space right now, where the old life doesn't fit and the new one isn't fully formed yet, stay there. Don't retreat. Don't perform the old version of yourself to make other people comfortable. The discomfort you're feeling isn't a sign you've lost yourself. It's a sign you're finally finding out who you actually are.